Well, hi everybody. Pleasure to be with you this evening after a great day here at McNaughton's. Very intriguing and interesting day here, to say the least, and you can see what we got up to today just by looking on Instagram. My name's Andrew Riley. I work as a General Manager at McNaughton Windows and Doors, and I'm here just to talk to you just a little bit about why McNaughton's is a great place to work and just what makes it such a great place to work. Just before we start, the trade that we work in is timber joinery. So we are timber joiners, and we specialise in manufacturing timber windows and doors for very high-end, often residential houses that are either new builds or perhaps renovations. So we have some very different and often unique houses and things that stretch us from a design capability frequently, and we have a lot of especially repeat builders that we value immensely, and the homeowners expect a lot and they deserve a lot. So the business has been around for 81 years, which means for us that we have a very rich heritage, and we value it a lot. We very much recognise that this business was founded by three brothers back in 1937, who left us with an amazing business to take over and enhance and take forward. So during this, I'll be happy to answer questions or take questions. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask them either in the comments below, or myself or BCITO will be happy to answer them in due course. So as we start this, the first question I've got written down here is what got me personally into this trade, and that's quite interesting. Some of these questions have caused me to have a bit of a reflection of my own journey, and this was a good one. And when I remember back, I'd previously been a banker, and I lent money to some of New Zealand's best medium-sized businesses in East Tamaki up here in Auckland, lending the money. And during that, I became really inspired by some of the stories of just the customers that I got to deal with, and I realised that I was actually on the wrong side of the table. I wanted to be the one that was borrowing the money, not necessarily the one that was lending the money. And that brings me to, if a few guys that are watching this are in the trades, you're definitely on the right side of the fence. Being out of the office and in the trades is a very exciting and rewarding place to be. So that's how I ended up in the trades. But how I ended up as the leader at McNaughton's is a little bit different. McNaughton's, at the time, I've been in the business now 6 years, and I came in as general manager and still am the general manager. But what McNaughton's was known for 6 years ago was fantastic timber joinery with fantastic joiners. It wasn't necessarily known as having a fantastic culture, and it wasn't necessarily known as having fantastic service. So the McNaughton's themselves, Dennis Grant and Ross and Gary McNaughton, all looking for a succession plan and a great team of people to take over and take their family name and business into the next generation, looked outside the business for the first time, and it happened to be me, and I feel very fortunate to be given the opportunity. But standing in front of 35 joiners at the time and letting them know that I knew nothing about timber joinery and that all I planned to do was match the service to their great products and work with them was quite daunting. But how they handled it and how we worked together has just been a phenomenal journey, and one that I'm happy to share a little bit more about in a minute. The next question I've got here is, personally, what is my philosophy on leadership? And that's such a challenging question, and quite a deep question, but if I tried to summarise it quickly, I would start with culture. Culture beats everything, and what culture simply is how we are around here. So with 42 people in the business now, our culture really matters, and creating an environment that people want to be part of is paramount. So I think if people are looking at this and watching and judging, I think that one of the key messages, especially as an employer, are yes, pay needs to be fair, at least fair and above. But what are all of the other things that you can do for your team to make sure you've got a great culture? What are all the extras that you can do for your employees? So how do you show them they can advance in their careers? How do you give them a really encouraging but frank performance review? How do you just have a beer with them? How do you take them on a fishing trip? How do you give them praise but not too much praise? How do you make sure that you're respected but not necessarily focusing on being liked? It's a fine line, but how do you make sure there might be a little bit of community involvement? Or how do you just make sure it's okay to have a good, healthy laugh around here? All those things matter to people at least as much as being paid fairly. Pay fairly, but make sure you're doing all of the other extra things to make it a really cool environment. Because when people get fairly paid and they get to feel part of something that they really enjoy, you end up with the right people. And we have a saying around here that says, first who, then what. Meaning, find the right people and they will work out what to do. And that's so true of what we've got here. We've got a group of people that are the people that are here for the right reasons, and now strategy becomes easy. Culture beats everything. First who, then what. So the right people in the business get the opportunity to start thinking about what they might want to do. Where are we going to take this business? And I trust them because they're the right people. So it all starts with the people. So that really gives a little bit of insight into what the leadership philosophy is that I have. There's a number of questions here. And the next one I want to just talk a little bit about at McNaughton's is my proudest achievement. And I can't narrow that down to one. There are many, many proud achievements that I've had, that we've had. And when I look at particularly, 6 years ago we set out to win the Master Joiner categories at the Master Joiner Awards, and behind me you can see the outcome of that. We've done that for the last 5 years and hope to do it again this year. But the one that sticks out for me is when Aaron, an apprentice that we appointed as an apprentice, became the Apprentice of the Year. And it fills you with pride when that sort of stuff happens. His partner came down to, it was Taupo event, as did a number of other senior leaders at McNaughton's, and another apprentice as well who was up for other awards. And to see them all walk away with awards, but particularly see Aaron take that award out, was unbelievably humbling. To see that his family had supported him, that the key leaders around here had supported him, and BCITO had supported him, and he'd won that, was quite a significant event. But beyond that, when I think about proud achievements, I think about people, and there's many of them here that have purchased their first house. There's many people here that started when they thought, I can be a joiner, and the ticket in the trade is that I have to stay in the trade on the tools, and that's what I'm going to do. And by opening up the opportunity for them, they've been able to move into roles like leading the whole factory when they didn't think that was possible, or moving from the factory into the production manager planning role, and progressing from there some into project manager site measuring type roles, or seeing someone that might have come into McNaughton's in a role that was deemed to be the office administrator role, and then to be given the opportunity to design the website, which is fantastic. So have a look at our website, see the sort of stuff that our people are doing. To see that someone would come in and think that I'm just the receptionist, but actually be given the opportunity to develop the website, and then see that person go on to be the production manager herself, and to see the success and the gradual improvement and career progression that person's been able to achieve. There's just so many. The current factory leader would have never thought that he would be leading 27 joiners and to see him now being given that opportunity and flourishing in the role. There's hundreds of these, I suppose, really cool and proud moments that you get to experience as the leader, and not necessarily knowing that you haven't done all of it, but knowing that you've enabled a culture and enabled. Sometimes it's about not letting everyone be the leader. So sometimes it's about letting 3 or 4 people that you work most with, allowing them to express their leadership philosophies and allowing them to work with a group of other people and within the business and let leadership sort of spread through the business. So I digress, but you get that I'm a little bit passionate about this sort of stuff and that it matters. Next question, I've kind of alluded to a little bit about what does it mean when an apprentice qualifies. I think that what that means, what must have happened there, is you have to have had support, you have to have had good leadership, you have to have had the support at home. So we make sure that we involve family to support the highs and lows, and of which there are many in the trades. You have to have had the support from leaders, and you have to have had support from the team around you, and in our case you have to have had the support of BCITO, and we enjoy that and value that immensely. So when someone graduates here from the apprenticeship, it's a celebration that we make sure that we invite all of those parties too, and there's a lot of thanks that goes around, and the apprentices themselves are encouraged to stand up and say thanks to all of those people, because it really matters. But what it means to the apprentice themselves is they get a ticket to the game. They get something that says, hey, you're not just an apprentice, but you're a McNaughton apprentice, and you can now develop even further and do even cooler stuff than you're already doing. You may well in time be then developed further into leadership roles. You might be developed further into just being that technical whiz at some really difficult, stretching projects that we might have on. Or you might start aiming to be a CAD drawer, to run the CNC machine, or to be a project manager, or to get into the sales team. So what you do as an apprentice when you qualify is that you get, like I say, a ticket to the game, and you get something that allows you to build on incredibly. And again, there are examples of people who have done just that at McNaughton's. When I look at Chris Hennessy, came 6 years ago. He had just finished 2 years prior, finished his apprenticeship. He then became a factory leader, production manager, now's a project manager, now sits on our leadership team. And if you want to see his profile, just click on our Instagram, BCITO Instagram, and just find the little profile that Chris has just put up. It's quite some watch, and again, go back to proud moments that I've had. Seeing that progression's unbelievable. Right, I'll move on to what advice would I have for those thinking about doing a building apprenticeship. A building or joinery apprenticeship, even better. Any apprenticeship in the trades for that matter. The advice I would give them is very simple, and it's probably the same as everyone else, every other employer in the trades would say, is just do it, give it a go, you won't regret it, you're on the right side of the table, as I say, and you will open up your career. If you're a parent and you're thinking about your kid either going to university or getting into the trades, well, give it a lot of thought, because I would argue quite strongly that getting into the trades is the way to go. I know I'm biased, but I've experienced both, and I see just what it is and what it opens up for those in the trades. What advice would I have for those who run their own building or construction businesses or manage a crew? Pretty straightforward. I'm not going to get into a major part of this one. I would just say make your business as much about your staff as it is about you, and let them grow and let them have the successes, and not necessarily have to be the one in the limelight. Let those staff experience and front those successes themselves, and you'll see evidence of that at McNaughton's, where the leaders at McNaughton's have contributed on this campaign via Instagram or on the stories as much as possible. And as you let people do that, they grow, and then they let other people do the same. And as you do that, your business grows, multiplies, and what do we say? Delegation is the key to multiplication. So if you can delegate and do it well and lead people, inspire people to a common goal, you'll grow and you'll multiply your business. So that's probably enough from me. I think I've drifted on a little bit, but I hope it's been worthwhile tuning in. And I'd like to thank you for watching, and for those that have missed the live broadcast, I understand that there will be comments below, and BCITO or myself will have an opportunity to answer them in due course. Also, there is a campaign, www.mybosslegend.nz, for those that want to have a look at that. There's some wonderful examples of some tremendous leaders that I've been watching recently, and I'm sure there's going to be many, many more. So good on those people for sharing their journeys. And have a look at www.bcito.org.nz, and of course www.mcnaughton.co.nz, and have a look at all the cool stuff that everyone's doing in the trades. So thanks again for watching.